welcome to And Then We Fought a Dragon.
And then we fought a dragon.
I'm Becky.
I'm Desiree.
And we're here to chat about some D&D and about Campaign 1. And this is our first time filming / recording the podcast since I started my new job. So we're trying to figure it all out with new schedules and all sorts of stuff.
It may take a while, I'm assuming. Yeah. This might not be the best option, but we're going with the flow.
Yeah.
And, we're just...
It might be a little chaotic.
Yes.
Yeah. But we want to do it because it's fun and we like it. So we're here. I just got back from grocery shopping where I bought limited edition salted caramel brownie Oreos. I just had to share that with you because they sound amazing and I haven't tried one yet.
That literally sounds like my least favorite thing, but I'm so happy for you.
Really? You don't like... I love salted caramel. I mean, I know you don't like brownies all that much, but the salted caramel...
I do love Oreos, but I love like the white Oreos, the cinnamon bun Oreos.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah.
But, everyone needs to love something for its individual existence. So here we are.
Have you ever tried the peanut butter pie chocolate ones?
For sure, definitely not. I don't like peanut butter. That also turns my stomach.
Okay, so for anyone who's not Desiree right now, they're delicious. Try them and enjoy them greatly.
In my mind, it makes a lot of sense for people who like peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah.
So I also encourage you, try them.
Yep. So amidst all that chaos and Oreo shopping, we're here to chat about Campaign 1. And just like going into this session, well, no, we won't get there first. We'll let Des remind us what happened last session first. Des is going to remind us what happened last session, and then I will chat about this session, and then we'll talk about all the chaos that was there too. Take it away.
I don't know why I expected this to be just a simple continuation, but it is not the vibe I am getting. So, last week on, the game started.
Yeah.
Exciting times. They were you had the option of 3 doors.
Yeah.
And you got through 2 of the rooms, or 3 rooms. You got through 2 of them. Very impressively.
Yeah.
I was quite, captivated by your abilities. And then there was, near death in the second room, so that was concerning, but you made it through. Most of the notes I have was just kind of like a reference point for me because I was having such a hard time conceptualizing. Right. Becky did send a layout like map after the fact. Thank you for that, I guess eventually. Was helpful. But yeah, my notes are kind of like it was like a field day. Yeah. And that sort of thing. So not that helpful, but anyways. There's some sneak attacks, and now we're on to what I'm assuming is the 3rd room, but who knows?
Here we go. Let's find out. So yeah, we're still in the midst of the games, and I'm gonna spoil it right now. We're still in the games at the end of this.
Oh God.
We haven't finished everything, so it's gonna be a cliffhanger, I guess. But I just wanted to get that out of the way so you weren't, wondering the whole time.
That is helpful because you have every time I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited, and then you're just like, and that's where we left off, and I'm like, we might as well never ever speak again because I'm annoyed. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I thought you would. Yeah. And I also, because of the whole, working situation, I've not prepped my notes the way I normally do. I'm reading straight out of the notes I take during session. So this is going to be interesting and hopefully will still be comprehensible. But we started the games. So the 2 doors that we did last time were, what was the first one called? The puzzle rooms. Mm-hmm. Where it was kind of like escape room style, almost, getting through 3 success rooms. Then we had Battle Box, which is, where we had the near-death encounters. And then this time, as you predicted, we started off with the last portal. which was the speedrunners room. And that was the room where earlier we'd seen some of the other players coming out like looking pretty muddied, as if it was like, a mud run kind of vibe. So we had an idea of maybe
as if we know what that's like.
I've seen pictures.
We have a friend who's done one before.
Yeah. So connected to it by degrees of separation sort of thing. Yeah.
Just don't want anyone to get an idea that.
Yeah, we don't do mud runs. Definitely not. Exercise? Who is she? And so before we got into the room, actually, here we go with the notes. We had a short rest, so we could take some hit die. A few of us had gone unconscious. We were down some hit points. Wanted to make sure we were as close to full as we could while we were doing that, and then we headed through the portal. And we were in kind of like, again, like that, the mud run, like the pictures that I've seen, except multiple environments, not just a mud environment. So long, narrow room. Right in front of us, there was like a water area, like a pool type thing that we were going to have to get across. And then from there was kind of these black tube type things, like a flat surface, but fire would shoot up from between them unpredictably. Our DM referenced Kung Fu Panda during Poe's training scene. Apparently there's some fireproofing. I haven't seen Kung Fu Panda recently enough, but I thought you might like the reference to
Okay,
the
here's
movie.
the thing. I'm about to expose myself. Kung Fu Panda is literally like the only thing I've never seen.
Does!
Never. And I have no reasoning as to why. I now feel like, oh gosh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But that is not a reference point for me, surprisingly. I have never seen Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, well, that's a little disappointing, I guess. But now when you see Kung Fu Panda, you can reference this D&D session as like, oh, it was like that.
Yeah.
Reverse.
I'll get on.
Yeah. So there was the water, then the fire tubey area. On the other side of the fire tubes, there was like a kind of a mud pit, the mud run aspect, with ropes across that you could kind of drag yourself. It's like waist deep mud. And then when you got through that, there was like a chasm that you had to Tarzan style rope swing across. And then there was like not exactly a rock wall or a climbing wall, but like at an incline that you had to kind of hardcore hike up a little bit. And the wall was like trying to stop you from getting up, basically, with little earthquakey things and little chasms opening up and whatnot that you had to dodge. And once you made it to the top of that, it was just a grass field that you just had to sprint across. So once you got there, it was pretty easy. So we were all on the other side of the water, and this was one where we just have to get across as fast as we can as an entire team. We're the only team in this arena, so like it's a race against the others times, but not while they're present shoving each other or something like that. So we got ready to go, and Ava has a spell called I forget what it's called. She split the water though, like full on Moses style. She just parted the water, and it was
I know that reference.
Yeah. And so we ran through the water super quick, and as Selwyn and Ava got across the other side of the water and Kieran got across the water, kind of nearing the fire area, Selwyn was like, hey, I have a dimension door spell. Ava and I are pretty squishy. If we get hit, we might go down. So what if we dimension door over to the other side and like get to the top of this rock incline? Because it's a pretty long range for dimension door. She can go pretty far. Mm-hmm. And so she's like, I'll grab Ava, we'll appear on the other side, and then we can like try and help you guys up from above, kind of thing. So she grabbed Ava and disappeared. Quinn and I were sort of not fully across the water yet at this point though, and as soon as Ava disappeared, the water went right back in. So we were like, whoa! Stumbled a little bit, but we were okay. We got back out, and then we were in the fire area. And our DM was just like rolling dice to kind of see which zones she had on her side that would light up. And I think Kieran got hit once, but like managed to dodge it and not take full damage. Quinn and I managed to get all the way across without getting hit by the flames, which was very exciting. There was some close calls. But
bravo.
We hit by the flames. Yep. And during that part, Ava and Selwyn realized, right, remember last time how we don't have our stuff with us, and therefore we don't have any rope to like throw down this wall and help you up with? Oops. So that was a big bummer moment that we forgot that again, and sort of planned as if we had something we didn't. So now they were stuck on the side of the wall, and there didn't seem to be a point for them to come back and then go back across with us, kind of thing. So Selwyn, you may remember from a couple sessions, has this funny bag that she can like pull this fuzzy thing out of, and it turns into a creature depending on what she rolls on a die. And one of the creatures it can possibly turn into is a panther, which has a climbing speed and could help us up the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, okay, maybe I will just like throw this at the bottom of the wall, and then one of you can use that to help you up. And Ava and I will just piece it to the other end and like get our time down quickly, because it's all our times added together, I guess, to get some bonus points there. So if they finish quickly, the time is a little better. Mm-hmm. So she throws this thing down. Lo and behold, she manifests a panther. Like there was a 1 in 8 chance that it was going to be a panther. And it was a panther, which was very exciting.
Yeah.
So there was a panther waiting at the bottom of us, which was going to be able to help us up. And by now, Kirian and Quinn and I had got to the mud. We're using the ropes to get across the mud. And the mud was pretty nasty. I'm sure you've smelled nasty mud before, whether or not we've actually done mud runs. So while we were going through the mud, our DM had us rolling Constitution saving throws to see if we got poisoned by the horrible smell of the mud. And Quinn and I rolled terribly on our Constitution saves, and we're thus poisoned by the mud. So we're like gagging as we're roping our way through this mud. I think Kirian managed to get through unscathed with the poison, but I was able to use one of my spells that I've never used yet, which was very exciting. I have one spell that is a reaction. Mm-hmm. So most spells I can use like as an action or a bonus action, typically in an initiative. But a reaction spell I use like triggered by something else. So when I take damage, I use my reaction. So I was going to take this poison damage, and absorb elements we decided could absorb poison damage because it had like acid and fire and various things that it can. So we decided it could absorb poison damage. So I didn't take any damage from that one. I did in succeeding rounds take some poison damage, but we made it through the mud and it was okay.
The small victories.
Small victories. And so then we arrived at this kind of rock face that we had to climb up. And Kirian was ahead of us because being a rogue, he has more movement than we do. So he was halfway up the wall by this point. He'd had to jump over a chasm, I think, as he was going up. And so Quinn, we decided she was going to take the panther because I have pretty good dex. So we figured I'd be okay with jumping over things or dodging things if I needed to, but she might be able to use the benefits of the panther speeding her up the wall a little better. So she zoomed up there. And in the meantime, Ava and Selwyn at the top just had this grassy field to cross to get to the other end. So Ava transformed into this most beautiful, majestic warhorse with like rainbow, sparkly, colorful hair. It was beautiful. We were joking that, you know, maybe it's hair shampoo, maybe it's just Aveline, because her name's Aveline. So that was really funny. And then off topic, but we realized that all of our names end with "in" because there's Evelyn, Kaylin, Selwyn, Quinnerin, Kirian. So now our new name is the In Crowd. Because that's great. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, we were really pleased with that one. Because Bones Bois, like, yes, is a great name, but Ava wasn't there most of the time Bones was there. So, like, it's not necessarily a name that she can be with. The player for Ava played Bones, so she was there, but Ava herself wasn't there. So now the In Crowd is like all of us, you know, which is exciting. But anyway, she turned into a horse. Selwyn jumped on her back, and they galloped majestically across the field. I think Selwyn rolled a performance check as she was just like, Yay! Riding horse Ava across the field. It was beautiful. Meanwhile, the rest of us were in the mud taking poison damage. No big deal. And so we
like I said, small victories for everyone.
Yeah. But we climbed up the rocks and swung across the pit. Ava and someone had also swung across the pit. No one fell into the pit, so that was good. All made it across. And then by the time we got up to the field, Ava had dropped someone off and was coming back to pick another of us up. Mm-hmm. And of course, Quinn is on Panther, so she zoomed across the field. So Kirian ran, and I got to ride horse Ava across the field as well, which was great. And then we got to the end of that room, and we'd done it like out of game in like 45 minutes. In game, it had been like 5 minutes, which is pretty good time for a speed run with something crazy like that.
Pretty good time. Oh my god, that's, I don't want to say it's unrealistic in a non-real world, but also like how?
Well, we were in an initiative round going through the room. So that's every round is 6 seconds. And then we have our limited feet that we can move. So technically, I mean, the time is a little speedier than normal people would do, of course. But it's supposed to be make it somewhat more potentially possible.
I can barely walk down my street in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but we're not super fit adventurer people, man. If we were super fit adventurers...
Says you.
Are you trying to claim you're a super fit adventurer?
Every time I leave the house, it's an adventure, and I am also super fit in my mind. So, yes.
Okay. Sure. We'll go with that.
Thank you.
Fit is in like British fit, where like, ooh, that person's fit. We can go with that.
I will gladly go with both.
There,
End of discussion.
Perfect.
No, I'm very impressed. Yeah. Good job getting.
We were very impressed. The crowds were cheering for us. Where am I in my notes now? I told about half of that without actually looking through my notes.
Did I finish the speed run?
We finished the speed run. I'm trying to find where the end of the speed run is. There we go. The green portal opens back up, and we run through to applause and cheers. That's what I have written in my notes. So
gotta make sure you remember that.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And we were one of the first teams out of the speed rooms. So that's pretty important because, you know, obviously it's a race. Everything's being added up together. We're trying to win here.
Yeah.
And Quinn and I were still taking damage from the poison because when you're considered poisoned, it's a reoccurring damage. It's not just a one-time thing. So that was a little problematic. But when we were in our dressing rooms, when we originally got to the stadium, there was like that mini fridge with some potions in it. Mm-hmm. 2 of the potions in there were lesser restoration potions, which cure poisoning. So we both glugged those so that we weren't poisoned anymore. And that was good because, you know, that really drains your hit points quite quickly if it's just happening over and over again. And then we went back to our dressing room to wait for everyone else to finish because we were so quick and fast and efficient that we had extra time.
Speedy
for the speed run. How appropriate. So we were back in our dressing room kind of waiting, healing up, having a bit of a short rest. And one of the like game attendants, like this teenage young adult, Faye comes in to like check in on us. You guys need any water or anything? Think like the Olympic kids who are like the ball boys and stuff, those kind of people. And she's wearing like a uniform type thing, but she's minor illusioned her sleeves to look like our jersey with the baseball style sleeves. So we're like, that's pretty cool. Nice. And we kind of tried to get some hints from her about what the coming games were going to be, because there was still the full team game with everybody, and then the game where the teams split, and half your team does one thing and half your team does the other. So we
don't know which is coming next.
Yeah, we knew which was coming next. It was going to be the full team game, but we just didn't really know what was happening in them necessarily. So we were kind of curious about mainly the one where we split our team, because obviously we're an odd number of people. So that's going to be a little complicated, I guess. Mm-hmm. And she said that half the team does a game called Ride the Wyvern, which is like a small dragony type creature. We fought a dragon before at the Feywild Gate where we played with the baby dragons.
And then we fought a dragon?
And then we fought a dragon? Yeah. So one team has to ride the wyvern, which seems fairly self-explanatory. One must ride the wyvern like a mechanical bull style rodeo, something like that. And then the other team has like a target practice type thing, like almost skeet shooting, where your archery, spears, daggers, whatever your thing is, you're just trying to do some target practice. So that one piqued my interest, being a ranger. And obviously Ava, being a druid, has her speak to animals and stuff, so she seemed pretty obvious for the wyvern. And we kind of started divvying out who might do what thing, even though that game is 2 ahead. And we figured Ava and Quinn would probably do well for the wyvern one, because Quinn's strong, so she could probably help while Ava's like trying to talk to the wyvern or whatever and get it to let her be on its back. For anyone who's seen a Harry Potter musical, I know you've seen part of it. I don't think you've seen all of it though. But there's one scene where they're doing like the Goblet of Fire kind of stuff, and Harry has to fight a dragon, and instead he pulls out his guitar and sings the Hey Dragon song. That's what I'm imagining Ava doing, where she just like sings the dragon to sleep and then just like rides the dragon. It'll be great. I'll send you a link for the YouTube video afterwards.
I'm sure I can remember watching it like in your bedroom. I can remember like the night, but I don't think I have a reference in my mind currently of that specific part. But because I know the rest of it in a general sense, I get the how it probably was. But
so that's the vibe that I'm picturing is gonna come when we get to this part, which should be fun. And then we thought maybe Kieran and I obviously are shoo-ins for the target practice. And apparently Selwyn is proficient in archery weapons. Who knew? I guess because she's a pacifist, this had never come up. So she's going to join us for some skeet shooting, which should be fun. And we'll get to see her do some like non-humanoid damage, which should be good. Yeah. But that wasn't the first game. Obviously, we've got another game to do before that game.
There's some business to attend to first.
Yeah. And the full group game is called Whack-A-Fan, which kind of threw us off a little bit at first. There's a lot of images that come to mind when you hear Whack-A-Fan, mostly Whack-A-Mole. It's not super like Whack-A-Mole though, so don't worry. But there's like a race where you're trying to get to the other side, and then you have to like high five a fan. Quinn was a little bummed about the high five part. She was ready to like whack a fan, but just a high five, just tap a fan on the other side, and then you win once your whole team's finished, kind of thing.
That is disappointing.
Which seemed a little straightforward. So we were like, okay, that's cool, that's fine. So we headed over to play Whack-A-Fan, because that sounds so fun. And there's a scoreboard showing running scores at this point, which is exciting. And out of about 20 teams, we're currently in 3rd.
Oh my goodness.
Which is pretty good.
But also the worst position to be in if you stay there.
Yeah.
We had a whole discussion about how we do not want to get 3rd.
Yeah, which I mentioned in game that like we don't want anything but 3rd place. And people were like, yeah, that's your opinion. Maybe we want 3rd place. So I might be alone in the anti-deck of many things-ish, but also like as Kaylin, I don't know what a deck of many things is, I don't think. So I also wouldn't be that anti it, because I don't know what it is. Just out of character, I know it's a dangerous item.
Yeah, I'm scared.
So we'll see. We're currently in 3rd, and it was very important with us to check where the Playboys are standing, because they're the ones who we just barely beat out in Battle Box, and they're a bunch of tools. And they're in 5th, so we're beating them, which they're really sulky about. They were really mad. They were just kind of like glaring at us, which was fun. And now we're in the stadium ready for the Whack-A-Fan, and the fans are really excited. The fans in the actual stadium. This seems to be the fan favorite game. And so we get ready, and we're
audience participation.
Yeah, we're raised on a platform, and then across the way is another platform that kind of has like a fan pen, basically. There's certain chosen fans that are over there, and that's where the Whack-A-Fans are. But there's a big like chasm in between. There's a void in between. And behind us, these tables rise up, and they have on them like stone wands and bags of pebbles. And we are told that these wands have a stone-shaped spell in them. So we can use an action to cast a spell on one of these pebbles, and they'll become like big 5-foot blocks that we can use to get across to the other side. And we have to kind of create our own path, basically. And race all the other teams across this path while people are like pushing and shoving, and like this is a little aggressive, this game. And if you fall off into the void, you get like teleported back up to the start.
Each path is not individual?
No, there is no path.
It's just like each path you have to create is not individual.
Yeah, you can use anyone's blocks. Okay. You don't have to create any blocks whatsoever. So
you can also use it to sabotage people if they're okay.
Yeah, and you can use like, you don't have to even use that to get across. If you have other magic, you can use your own magic to get across. As long as you get across and whack a fan, you will be on the scoreboard. So we have a little bit of planning time before everything gets going. And someone, I don't remember who, comes up with the idea of essentially like discus and taking these pebbles, and instead of casting them to big 5-foot places we can get across, casting them to like discuses and having Quinn peg people as they're going so that we can get across a little more uninhibited and have some frisbee going on.
Frisbee golf.
Yeah, it was 100% ready for frothing. So we were really excited about that idea. But we weren't first in the team initiative. The Playboys were earlier than us in initiative. And so they crowded up and like started casting a spell and kind of started levitating a bit. And we're going to like sort of almost fly across. And we were like, oh, they got some sort of fly spell. So Ava dispelled magic on their fly spell. And one of them fell into the void. And like, take that, you suckers. So we were being very petty, obviously, about that. We really want the Playboys to lose. Yeah. And then
just clarification.
Yep.
Does everybody on the team have to get across?
Yes.
Okay. So because you knocked out a member of their team, they can no longer participate?
No, they can. When they fall into the void, they just go back to the beginning and just have to start over.
Everyone goes back to the beginning.
Whoever fell. So anyone you fall, you go back. You fall, you go back. It's an individual thing.
So then they, even though they all collectively started to fly together, one person fell, they have to go back and now independently continue on.
Yep.
If anyone was wondering, I am very attentive to rules and also need a lot of help visually to make sure everything is correct.
So like as much as this is a full team game, basically it's an individual game.
Okay.
Like you can work as a team to help each other, but you're mostly getting across as individuals, really, if that's going to be more in your benefit.
I just need to know where everyone's placed in my mind. Totally. If when I'm having, about to expose myself, when I'm, just maladaptive daydreaming for hours at a time, sometimes if I like tie my shoes wrong or put something somewhere, I got to start all over.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So at this point, it's like 20 teams of 6 people, right? So it's like 60 to 80 people that are all trying to get across this void together, pushing and shoving, going chaos. Like I said.
I think that's why I'm struggling. I'm literally just imagining so much chaos. I can't keep track of my own imagination.
Chaos. But our eyes are solely on the Playboys, who we want to sabotage. Yeah. Yeah. So we decide someone's got her Dimension Door spell again, which could be handy in getting two of us, she can do herself and someone else, to the other side and getting us like really quickly on the scoreboard, because that'll shoot our score up. So that would be a good thing. But it obviously takes an action or a bonus action to make these discuses for Quinn to throw. So I cast one of those quickly to start her a little stockpile going, and then someone decides to grab me this time, and we boot it over to the other end. We high five our fans, and boom, we're done. We're just cheering on the others as they come across to the other side. So Kirian is going after some members of one of the other teams that are also pretty high ranked. They were, I think their name was G-Force. They're 5 like
guinea pigs.
No.
That's a movie. It's a movie about guinea pigs called G-Force.
Sorry, no guinea pigs that I'm aware of. But
okay, continue.
It was 5. I'm pretty sure they're like rock people, like kind of bouldery type people, who were with their 6th member, who is a teeny tiny little like
guinea pig
goblin. No.
Okay, continue.
Who they're like protecting. And so he's like pegging off these strong guys, shoving them into the void as fast as he can as he goes. And Quinn is frisbeeing. She's throwing these discuses, making new ones, and knocking players down. And she like hurls one of the playboys into the void. Like that guy's gonna have whiplash. He was just like, whoa, as he hurled off. He's gonna be in some pain. And then they had a brilliant idea, which our DM was thrilled by. They decided, like, what if Ava wild shaped into something really small and then clung to one of these discuses, and Quinn just hurls her as far as she can across the void, and then that'll get Ava a good amount of the way across. What a great idea, right?
No, it's not such a terrible idea.
Such a good idea. We were so excited. So she turned into a little frog with little sticky feet so she could hold on to one of the discuses. And in this time where my team members are doing things, they're also, of course, being attacked by other team members. However, Quinn in particular hasn't actually left the starting place. She hasn't started across the void at all. So they're mostly leaving her alone, because what's the point of attacking someone who's already at the beginning? Kirian's getting shoved a bit, but he doesn't fall into the void. So that was good. So Ava gets herself on this discus. Quinn throws it as far as she can. And I think the DM had her roll a percentile die, which is obviously a 1 to 100 chance. And she rolled like 99, like something ridiculous. So she got it so far and hit someone as well, knocked them into the void. So Ava's just sitting there on this little platform that they were on, which is ideal. And she's a frog. So like nobody's trying to shove her into the void, because no one cares about a frog sitting on the platform. No big deal. Now, instead of Aveline the magic horse, she's Frogaline. It was a rough day yesterday.
I want to laugh. I'm not just sitting here like silently bored. I'm just, I don't know.
You pity us, I think. I feel like there's some pity for like our craziness.
Like, I'm really impressed. I would like all of you who roll these good rolls that somehow help you, achieve the unimaginable, to like, I don't know, have some sort of control over my actual life, because I am failing that.
Yeah, we could turn you into a frog.
But that's not the full point. So I'm impressed, but also I just feel like you make these plans and then you take it too far.
We carried the plan. Look, it's going so well so far. Let me continue. So by now, other teams are getting to the end. And it's getting to the point where, like, okay, Quinn needs to start across. Frisbee time is done. So we still got that panther hanging around. So she jumps on the panther. And by now, all these rocks other people have used to make platforms across are all there empty because people are across. So her and the panther happily, jump all the way across. And as they're passing Frogaline, Quinn reaches out and Frogaline jumps up and she catches Frogaline, and they carry on to the other side where they have to, whack a fan. So Quinn high fives a fan, and I don't remember what was fully decided about Ava. She might have got thrown into someone's face and whacked a fan that way, or she just like little frog hand high fived somebody. on the other side. But either way, she finished. She got up on the scoreboard. And Kieran as well is still in the arena. And he just, dashed quickly across, made it to the end. And so all of us are across, which is pretty dang sweet. We see in this pit of fans, more of them have illusioned their shirts to look a little like our jerseys, which is a big compliment. Real excited about that.
You got the support.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of like the underdogs apparently, and people are really excited because we're the only ones from the material plane that have just showed up here unexpectedly, registered the day before the games, haven't practiced at all.
You only have 5 members?
We only have 5 members in a 6-player game. We're the underdogs. Yeah. So we're pretty excited to see some fans. And then the platforms reset a little bit to go to the next area of the course. We didn't realize this was a multi-area course, but we were already 45 minutes overtime session because of all the chaos that we've been doing, being crazy weird. So we did call it here, but we did get a little preview of what the next part is going to be. So with the next area, there's, let me read this. It's like an obstacle course, like high, tall platforms, kind of like what we created before. But we're each given a little grasshopper leg that just crumbles into dust in our hand and casts the spell jump on us. So we're going to be able to jump like crazy, unrealistically high and far, which
That's
is very
like
exciting.
Spy Kids again.
Yeah. Yes. And then we just have to get across the obstacle course for this part. So our DM said the next few games should go pretty quickly, depending, I guess, on how creatively chaotic we get.
Yeah, I think it's on you guys at this point.
But yeah, that was what we did. And Quinn is now proficient in Frisbee. So when eventually we do play with the boys back in Corintha, it's going to be one heck of a Frisbee game, which will be very exciting.
I'm sure.
And that was what we did Monday night.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It was fun. I was a little distracted near the end of it because obviously it was election night here in Canada. And I was watching the live updates because I had got to mention Dora at the other end. So it wasn't super important that I pay a whole lot of attention. So I was watching the election results come in. But also Selwyn and I were rolling performance checks for our cheering of the other team, or of our team, the other members of our team, as they came across. And if we rolled really well on our performance checks, they got like little bonus dies to add to their rolls. So that was pretty cool. We could contribute a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good job, everyone. Y'all did it. You got there eventually. I don't know why. I fully approve and think what you accomplish is great. It's like how you get there confuses me a little bit.
There's something about like being in a D&D party that just makes your brain go haywire. And you think of things that would never be considered in a normal situation.
Well, I guess that is obviously what I'm missing because not that I truly don't have much of a concept other than a very basic concept of what it could look like.
Yeah.
But I don't know these people, obviously. I only know you.
Yeah.
And so that kind of is the driving force for where my mind goes.
Yeah.
And then also I don't really know the rules of the game. And so I have to like, when you say something, I have to be like, what does this actually mean?
Make it
how are you doing this? And so I think it's just the confusion makes me confused, obviously, but just like a little frustrated. So not like thinking this is all bad or like I don't like it. It takes me a little while to catch up.
Yeah, that's fair. And again, like, because it is, even if it's a game type situation, it's the same as a fight. It's hard to describe those kind of scenarios because they're not as role play heavy as something would be. And so you're never going to be able to get the full experience from a retelling like this as you would from legitimately like experiencing it in the moment kind of thing. So it'll always feel a bit different, but it's kind of nice at the moment to just be able to play in kind of an initiative type situation. But obviously, like I think we've talked about this before, like there's no repercussions.
Yeah.
Nothing bad can happen. It's just kind of fun.
It is really fun. I like that part, and
Yeah.
I like now that it's been going on for nearly
This was the
6
second
months.
games. Oh, we started March.
March.
Yeah.
I don't know what time it is. Also, I'm going to sneeze at some point. My
Nice.
sneeze, they just sneak up on me. Anyways, now that it's been going on for so long, there has been so many, like, I don't know, versions of just getting to know each other and working through it. But
yeah,
I like it.
This is kind of our first time just having fun together. All the other stuff has been a little intense.
It was so heavy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Which I guess is a good
murder
place
accusations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to think like how far you really have gotten to and everything that you've accomplished. So bravo for that. Yeah, this was a good session. I once again though am like, can we just get through it? As much as I do love it, the anticipation is making
I think our DM expected us to finish the games this session. We did not.
Yeah, the heart palpitations that I have over just life in general are not aided. They're definitely, it's not like the end of the world, but it's not like helped.
You need like a herbal tea to like calm you during this time.
Something.
While we're on the podcast recording, you can just be sipping your herbal tea to help you stay level.
I need to do some deep breathing exercises before and after. But I guess we can go over some notes. It like most times, I guess it's no longer like unusual for me to just have notes and then them kind of fall apart at the end, because I don't know but I thought I knew when it was gonna end. I thought, because you told me like you're not going to finish. And so I was anticipating that, but you still didn't end at the point that I had made unnecessary assumption about, because I didn't really know. But anyways, so you do the speed runner room.
Yep.
It's kind of like a mud run. I liked all the visuals that were built. I enjoyed that. That was good. So there was, I don't know. We don't really need to like go over every part of that, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
I liked it was a panther, jaguar. Yep. Are those the same thing?
I think they're kind of the same thing though. Maybe like
Bagheera.
Different areas.
It was Bagheera. There we go. Reference points. Bagheera. Because that's what I was imagining was Bagheera.
Absolutely.
And when Baloo yells, Bagheera, that's what I was hearing. when you conjured up this animal, I just heard Bagheera. So
I want someone to have like thrown it down and just yelled Bagheera. That would have been great.
Yeah. That's what happened in my mind.
Excellent.
So
Selwyn, we're telling you what happened. Now you know.
I kind of wish I could, like, obviously this is a replay back, but sometimes I wish I could really replay back my version of it. Like, it'd be funny if you told me what happened, but it wasn't recorded, and then I said that.
Tell me what happened. We should do that next time. I'll tell you off podcast, and then you tell everybody what happened.
Maybe not next time, but maybe for a special occasion. Yeah. I feel like we really need to get out of this whole part of the universe with you explaining everything, but it would be an interesting thing to do. So we'll keep that in mind. Anyway, so you get to the mud. I was thinking like bog. Yeah. Just bog. You struggled because of the poison, but you got through it. Yeah. One thing, okay, so Ava's transforming into all these different animals. Yes. Why wasn't that a thing she was doing, I don't know, for the past 5 months?
She has been a little bit, I think. Has she wild shaped yet? I mean, certain abilities in D&D you don't get until you're in a certain level. Okay. So I'm not totally clear on druids, like at what point you can start wild shaping. I know currently she can't do any flying animals. Okay. She has to wait till she's a few levels up before she can do flying animals. So right now she can just do like regular sized normal creatures kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's been something that she's been able to do like right from the beginning or not, but I think it's a gradual thing.
Because I didn't really like remember her doing that a lot before. So
now that you pointed out, I don't know that she has before.
No, I don't think
Maybe
so. But it's still cool. I just wanted to ask that.
Yeah.
So then you got some applause and cheers. Yay, good for morale.
Yeah.
Then
side note. Our DM was playing the funnest playlist while we were playing this game. It was like video game music, basically. So practically the whole time we're just like all vibing while we're playing the game because we were having a great time.
It's always good to have a very, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? A good playlist. Yeah. One that goes with the feel of. Exactly. Anyways, that's cool. Then you got a bunch of game info for the next rounds.
Yeah.
We won't go over that again because obviously we'll have to cover it either way in the next episode. But you got game info. But now you're on to new game, Whack-A-Fan.
Yep.
And it's like No. Okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. See, this is what happens when I don't take notes and then I just have like random words. And
both of us are chaos notes today.
I skip a bunch of stuff that happened. But anyways, the point of Whack-A-Fan is to get from one point to another. There's obstacles and you're in competition with other teams.
Yep.
You come to the conclusion based on provisions that you're given to aid with completing the task that you will turn them into discs.
Yep.
To eliminate opposition.
That's right.
Then it turns into disc golf with people.
Struggling.
Yeah. And then one thing I wrote down was like I was imagining like at recess.
Yeah.
When we'd have snowball fights and there'd be like the small snowball builders and then the snowball throwers.
Yes. Yeah.
And the process of elimination, because you were trying to.
Before we left, we were making Quinn a little discus.
Yeah, because you're usually trying to steal ice blocks, right?
Yeah,
like everyone had ice blocks, and you're trying to steal them from each other, but you
dangerous.
hit each other with. Well, you didn't hit each other with the ice blocks. You hit each other with the snowballs. We're trying to steal the ice blocks.
Yeah,
and I was not competitive enough for that game. I usually end up wandering around, making friends with the opposite team, but I also was pretty devious. Yeah. So I would make friends, make them think that I wasn't playing, and then I'd just steal their ice blocks.
Our school had like a massive field with a huge parking lot, and so we would get the tallest snow mountains.
Huge.
We could play in and like tunnel in. It was pretty intense.
It was a huge, upon reflection, probably a huge safety hazard. But
absolutely.
Such is an early 2000s childhood.
Yeah. They're probably not allowed to do that anymore, which is kind of sad. It
really is. I mean, what is life if not possibly dying at recess?
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, kids don't even barely go outside at recess, right? Because we are in Canada and it is frigid. Growing up, I remember when they started implementing a cutoff.
Yeah.
But that did not happen till we were in like grade 6 or 7.
And it was so like it has to be so cold. We would be all like huddled in a corner like a hive of bees trying to get through the winter, letting the weak ones on the outside die off.
If you think this is an exageration, it is not. There was a little indent in the building, a tiny indent in the building, and we'd literally it didn't matter if you hated the person next to you. It did not matter. Everyone just huddled because we were absolutely freezing cold.
Well, part of that was also because the girls wore skirts as part of our uniform and refused to wear snow pants on top.
Okay, that wasn't me. That's their fault. I was not that kid. I wore snow pants.
Yeah. It's so uncomfortable wearing snow pants on top of a skirt. Gotta say. Anyway, D&D.
Right. Oh, little tangent on our childhood. I But I wanted to clarify, I did not think I was too cool for snow pants.
I did. Sorry.
Okay, so
I froze.
Rebecca freezing is her fault, and she should have, I don't know, got frostbite. Point is, okay,
Thanks.
so you made it. Moving on. No, I'm kidding. Don't get frostbite. It's painful.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten it before, because we're Canadian. Anyways, so you make it there. You all have these great, I don't know, ideas, and they work.
Yeah,
somehow.
That was the best part. It worked.
The frog one really is impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting. I think my notes truly just say I really thought the plan was going to fall apart, so I literally started writing, this plan is going to fall apart, and then I just wrote JK.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. Yes, I did. For this particular instance, I was scared.
We did great.
You did. You all did great. So that's why I wrote JK.
Nice.
So the plan did not fall apart.
So good.
So that's it. That's all I have. That's where my notes end. And I guess essentially that is kind of, you got it all sorted. On to the next.
Gotta do some superhuman jumping next session. Which will be exciting.
It will. Yeah. I think that it definitely helps me to have a lot of visualizing going on beforehand. Because when you obviously you have no control over what you know and everything. But when you implement it, like, and then we did this and this is what it looked like, I'm like, hold on a second, I gotta reset.
Okay, so like, remember how last time I sent you the picture after we recorded? This time I took a picture ahead of time and was like, oh, I should remember to send this to Des before we record the podcast. Did I remember?
No,
I did not remember. Sorry.
It's fine. Good thing I have an amazing imagination. Yeah. But no, it's just, it truly is, because I actually have to reset. It's like, okay, it's like when you're filming a movie. Yeah. Reset, like everyone has to stop. I gotta.
We should get like ad segments going on in our podcast, like just make up silly ads so that you can mentally have a reset while we're doing like an ad for this Kleenex box that's beside me.
instead of, I mean, if you're watching the video of it, you'll see me. You will literally see it happening, because I'll be squinting my eyes. I'll be like, my eyes will be held really tight. I'll be trying so hard to focus. That is my brain resetting. So there's a little insight into the oddities, but I still think I get just as much enjoyment out of if that happens, or if you give me an explanation prior. I still think it's really cool, and I eventually figure it out. So I like that either way.
Yay, games!
It's exciting. Looking forward to next time. That's I think all we can say on that, because it's really not over at all.
And hopefully we get out of third place.
Yes. Oh yeah. I didn't make a note on that because I just didn't want it to be. Yeah. Oh no, I did. I just wrote 3. That's why I didn't really acknowledge it, but it just says 3. So there was a minor note made on it, and hopefully it moves to not 3 next time.
Yep. We want that first place cash money,
so you can get out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll be getting out of the Feywild next session. Who knows? And then we'll be back into the chaos that is Corinda. Scary.
If you guys do get out of the Feywild next session, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to pull that off.
I mean, we might be able to, like, finish the games and, like, get out, but I don't know that we'd be able to do anything once we're out. We'd just be, like, we'd be out. And then we'd have to stop session.
Yeah, but knowing you guys, you're going to have to, I don't know, do a little detour, a spin here.
Yeah. Go
something
to a Fey
there.
club before we leave or something,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Which is not a bad thing. That is not me saying you shouldn't do that. I like those parts too. But I'm keeping things realistic.
That's fair. Yeah. It's important. Well, so we roll some dices in the meantime.
Yes.
Okay. All of them were betraying me yesterday. I eventually used digital dice online because
Oh, wow.
it was rough. What do you want?
Well, yeah, I never keep track of what we did before.
Yeah,
so let's go with green.
Okay. See if it's recovered from yesterday.
It was one.
It was what?
No, go ahead.
It's a 5.
Oh.
We're higher than we were last time, I think. I feel like we were a 2 or something last time. So
I think we were 13 again.
Oh yeah, I'm getting the different campaigns mixed up. We did get 13 twice. That was a bit weird.
A bit bad luck, maybe.
But we're a team of 5. 5 to win, It's important. Oh, I lost the 5 now. I was gonna hold it up to camera, but I literally can't find it.
Maybe it's my fault for interrupting. I need to state 5 just disappears. Number 5 doesn't exist anymore in the whole world.
That would be weird.
It is. But anyways, it was a good job, everyone. It was nice to hear about it all. I don't want people to think like I just am constantly like criticizing and hating. So I want to make sure people know I think it's really entertaining. I find it all so interesting and fully stand behind you. But I probably will always be that little bit questioning.
Our little criticism on our shoulder.
I truly don't know how to exist in life without being that way in most regards. So I'm sorry.
Grounded. Well, thanks for listening. If you're still here, and hope you have a good rest of your week.
Yes. Thanks for also listening to all the tangents.
Yeah. I mean, I love tangents myself, but hope you do too.
A little bit of chaos today, but anyway. Yep. Okay.
And we have new campaign 2 coming out on Saturday. Hopefully.
Yes.
We'll see.
We'll see. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Now this is a story all about how my D&D parties came about. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and I'll tell you this week's adventure of a Bard and Ranger.